Global Teacher Prize Award for his wonderful work in the area of education. His organization, Quality Education Framework, Barshi, has started this work in August 2007 by getting into partnership with Microsoft. Then different companies like Global Connect partner with Microsoft and other organizations. And now he has reached up to 30 countries with his technology. As an Indian teacher, he has developed some technological activity where students can get benefit of it. The school children, like a virtual science trip, then history textile, various initiatives where students can learn hands-on and then will get a better experience working in the technological field. Now he has reached up to 70,000 children in 1,112 schools in Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Punjab, Rajasthan, and few union territories. When I was talking with sir always says one important line, and that I like, and then I believe on that same line. Sir said, like, my technology is not replacing teacher in the school, but this technology will definitely help teachers to learn, to teach in a better way, and students to learn in a very attractive way. Recently, we had an NSS camp in Valvanda village in Jawar block of Palghar district. And some of our students, they told me, sir, when we were in a school teaching them some English and then science subject, we saw books where there is a barcode. And then I told them, this barcode initiative was taken by Mr. Ranjit Singh Disale, sir, and now he's going to have an interaction with us. In today's session, we have students from different fields. We have students from NSS. We have students from different engineering colleges. They are taking part in the different programs and activities. So I will request all the students to listen our today's speaker and be ready with your questions, because today's topic is innovation and inspiration. Sir has innovative QR code system, which will definitely help us in our technology, and we can learn many more things from our today's speaker. So without taking much time, I'll request Ranjit Disale sir to begin with his session. So thank you very much accepting our invitation, and your time you can take to us with your virtual tour and then your guidance, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Royal Ji and Janvi ma'am, for such a great introductions. I'm so happy to meet you all virtually. Finally, we met this. So before I just start speaking, let me just try to share my screen, if it is visible to you. Okay.
Sir, screen is visible.
Great. So my name is Ranjit Singh Disle. I'm a teacher in Jilla Parishad Primary School, Paritibadi, and I've been teaching to third and fourth graders since 2009. So today I'm going to talk about education, how expanding education through technology is very much possible. But before we dive deeply into the topic, let's just try to understand the educational scenario of Indian education system. Just look at this figure. It represents, this is the number that these many students are expected to join the classrooms, to be in the classrooms. Okay, but around 5 to 10% students hardly go to schools. They never saw, or they were never been in the classrooms. Then this around 45 to 50% of students, they just complete their educations till primary level or grade 5, and then from there they dropped out. Then that portion around this percent is able to continue and to complete their education till grade 10. And now the last one, the remaining part, the remaining percent, around 5 to 6% students are able to continue to complete their education, and you all representing that figure. So it means when we begin with number 100 until the graduation, we just sustain all the students being able to continue their educations, to complete their graduation. Still just 6 to 7% students could complete it. So this is the situation of Indian education system. Why? What is the reason behind this? This is very famous quote I always like to remember and to say. I don't know how many of you are agree with this, that the generation of 21st century or the 21st century kids are being taught by 20th century adults using 19th century curriculum on and techniques around 18th century calendar. So it's a fact. Now you representing you all students today who have joined from different backgrounds. Some of you are from NSS, from IT, engineering background, but you are representing a generation of 21st century, or Gen Z it is called most ever. And we, the teacher like me and Janvi ma'am and rest of the faculties, we are from the 20th century. Our style of teaching is completely different. Your style of learning is completely different. So how we could bridge the gap between our style of teaching and your style of learning? So this is where the technology comes to play the crucial role. And today I'm going to talk about my experiences, my journey, what it had taught me, and how it is going far away right now. So my journey began in 2009. I still remember the day one, 5th of January 2009. And the day one, my headmaster took me to my classroom. And the classroom was, sandwiched between a cow shed and a storeroom. It was really shocking. I never imagined to be in a classroom such like this. But moreover, I was shocked by the reaction of parents, because nobody was complaining about the status of classroom. They were saying, "Oh, it's okay, sir." So this was more shocking to me. Then I tried to understand why these parents are so feeling so irrelevant towards education, why they are not trusting, why they are not believing in education. So for that, I did a survey, entire village was being surveyed, collected some data about educational status, about the economical status of parents. And there I come to know about very interesting fact that women in the village were more educated than the male. So this was something unexpected. But keeping in that mind, I initiated few projects. I'll be talking about all this. But before I jump into the initiatives, I would like to share a video to explain what I did in the classrooms. So just let me know whether it is audible to you.
I just wanted to create a learning environment for every student that could spark their curiosity and make them innovative problem solvers so that they could contribute to the community. The Paritwadi is mostly known for farming. So we can see that all of them are below poverty level parents. The boys are actually lending the helping hands to their parents. Girls' education is not given that much importance. So education is not a priority. I still remember the day one when I saw the school building, and I saw that this is like indifference of parents looking at the education. So I started to interact with the parents. I learned their language, participated in their events. So it was like being a member of their community.
परंतु ज्यावेळेस डिसले सर आले त्यावेळेसपासून काय झालं की एक विद्यार्थ्यांना प्रेरणा मिळाली की आपण शाळेमध्ये येऊन शिकलं पाहिजे. पालकांनी त्यामुळं काय केलं की जास्तीत जास्त विद्यार्थ्यांना शाळेमध्ये जास्त वेळ कसे राहतील याकडे लक्ष दिलं.
Even though I'm teaching to 12 and 13 students in a class, but everyone is learning at their own pace. I have made some QR codes on each and every textbook. So when the students scan those QR codes, he or she gets the personalized and well curated content for himself. Considering his style of learning, I change the content at the back end. So this is how I make their learning personalized. They can challenge themselves. They are not competitors of others. Technology is helping me to bridge that gap between students living in villages and students in cities. Schools are closed, but still our teaching learning process is going on. Right now I'm running my online classes from my home. We are using some video conferencing software, so where my students could join my classes. I just make sure that they are achieving the learning outcomes of a respective class at the end of the every year.
मोबाईलवरती क्लास घेत होतो. व्हिडिओ कॉलवरनं आम्ही शिकत होतो. खेळतो, मोबाईलवरचा अभ्यास करतो, सरांनी दिलेली स्वाध्याय पत्रिका सोडवतो.
The major issues is girls getting married at the age of 12 and 13. Girls are not considered to be contributing to the family to change the status. I'm proud to say that in last 10 years, that culture of getting married early age was now completely banned, and I'm very happy to stop that tradition.
अनेक मुलींचे तर लहान वयात लग्न लावायचे, पण मी आई वडील व रणजित सरांची आभारी आहे. त्यांनी आम्हा मुलींना एक आत्मविश्वास दिला.
Girls' education is more than just getting them in the schools. It's more about feeling safe in the community, in the society. I'm really enjoying my job. I'm being a teacher. Now it's like it's my soul. It's my aim of life. Teachers are actually catalysts that can change the society, that can really make the world a much better place that the students would like to live.
So that was the video actually, explaining what I did in the classroom. So just going back to my journey in 2009, after analyzing the data collected from community, and then I set up 3 targets before me. The first was, to change the parents' indifference towards education, because I've seen that they don't, rely or they don't trust in education. Second thing was to make sure that everyone is attending a classroom, 100% attendance in a classroom. And third thing was to improve the academic performance of every student. So these were the targets I set up before me. And to achieve this target, I initiated these initiatives. At the beginning, I initiated a project called Community Engagement Program. Then I initiated Alarm on TV Off. So all these initiatives are still going on. Some of them are still going on. So let me just try to explain all these initiatives in detail. But before that, I would like to play a little game with you all, boys and girls. and to understand whether you are enjoying this session or not, to make you more attentive. So there is a quiz now for you boys. Can you see my screen? There are 9 dots. You have to join these 9 dots with just the 4 lines. Okay? You have to join all these 9 dots, but you can draw 4 lines only. And the condition is that end point of a first line should be the starting point of a second line. I repeat, you have to join all these 9 dots with the 4 lines, and the ending point of a first line should be the starting point of a second line. So here we go. Now you can just, if you have notebook or pen, try to solve this problem. A very interesting one. So I hope boys and girls, you are ready with your pen and pencil or notebook or paper. Okay, if anyone is done, you can just raise your hand so that, and then you can turn on your camera. So teacher, just help me. If someone is done, someone has solved this problem or this quiz, just let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
In case if somebody has solved the problem, you can turn on your camera, you can raise your hand and then turn on your camera and
Right.
show us on the screen what you have done.
Yeah, it's very interesting one. Yes, come on, boys. Anyone? Just think something different, something out of the box.
Has anyone been able to solve the puzzle? Sometimes there are such puzzles during aptitude tests as well.
Okay.
So think of this as an aptitude test question and then attempt it, please. I know the answer of the question. So
Oh, okay.
I know the answer of the question because I have come across this quiz earlier. But
Okay.
let's see what the students are doing.
Yeah.
And recently we had a NSS camp, and then the same puzzle I had given to the students.
Oh,
To the attending this session, they can be answerable.
let's see if students are able. At least, are you trying or not? Just let us know. If you're trying.
In case if you are feeling shy of turning your camera on, we can use the chat box.
Yes.
We can always use the chat box.
Or some of them might be, using Google to try to solve this problem. If you are tech savvy.
Maybe
Yes.
that's one way of solving the problem. There are different ways of solving this problem, right?
Yeah,
One is Google.
right. Yeah.
So has anybody Googled behind the back?
Maybe they might be trying.
They might be trying.
Okay. No way. We have to move ahead. Let me just show you the answer. It may be different. You might, or Janvi ma'am or Royal sir, you might have different answers to the same question. Let me show you how. This is the first line. Okay. Then second. Then third one. And then the fourth one. This is how the puzzle should be solved. I repeat again. First line, then second, third one, and the last, fourth. Okay. So this is called as a 9-dot theory. Okay, very famous one. If you can Google or watch the video on YouTube as well, how to solve the 9 dot theory. So the reason behind sharing this puzzle was to make you think out of the box. Even on the right corner of my slide, you can see there. Uh, there is a there is a box, something out of the box. So whenever you're trying to solve any problem, anything, you have to think out of the box. This is what the moral of the story. Now, just coming back to my journey, I was talking about community engagement program basically. So this program was focusing on pursuing the mindsets of parents. I was interacting with them as they were hesitant to send their kids to the classroom. So I was meeting them, reading with them, having a tea, and trying to understand their mindset. And there I saw that, instead of just, pushing our thoughts or posting our thoughts on them, I thought of not just pursuing, but I thought of using acceptance principle there. So whenever you are expecting any change, the change should be accepted. So instead of giving them lectures or saying something, I invited some girls from nearby villages in our community engagement meeting, and the girls were expected to share their journey, how education had changed their lives, and how it is helping them to grow, not only in financial sector but in their community status as well. So at the end of every community engagement session, I used to ask a single questions to my parents, to the students and their parents, that would you like your kids to become like her, or you want your kids to do the same thing that you are doing right now? So choice is yours. So that question actually was, that was a trigger point. And from there, parents started thinking of something different. What I am expecting my kids to do in future. So obviously the choice was, to become like her. So if you want your kids to become like her, then I was telling them, then start sending your kids in the classroom. So while they were coming to classroom, some of them were coming to classrooms. In the meanwhile, I managed to get back my classroom after some political drama and some police interventions what happened there. But after some time, after 6 or 7 months later, I get back my classrooms, and I use very basic or simple technology using the laptop. I used to, show them the videos of Bollywood movies. So students, those who were coming to classroom, they were just watching the movies, singing the song, dancing, having their lunch, and they were going back. This was the thing that I was doing earlier. So my classroom becomes some sort of, fun zone or entertainment zone. So students, those who were coming to school just for fun and then going back to home, and they were sharing what they did in the classrooms. They used to share with their friends that we watched this movie. Oh, that was a fantastic movie that was. And tomorrow we're going to watch this one. So those who were not coming to school, it actually attracted the attention. Oh my God, my friend is going to school and he's enjoying what I'm doing in the farm. I'm farming. So it's better to go to school and enjoy. So this is how I manage classroom and how I manage everyone, students coming to schools and enjoying what they're doing. And then later on, I turn that entertainment into edutainment with the help of technology. Education is not the good education or the best education system. It's actually a collective effort of students, parents, and teachers. So I used to have the active participation of parents, and to ensure that, I initiated a project called Alarm On, TV Off. So I set up an alarm on school's building, and it rings at 7 p.m. every night. So this was an indication for parents. Now stop working whatever you're doing. Sit together with your kids and help them to complete their homework. But as they were, they were unaware of how to help their kids in homework, So I used to send the text messages in the afternoon. What are their roles, what they are expected to do at night, and then they get to know their roles and responsibilities. So this initiative has ensured that active participation of parents in teaching learning process. It also gives a sense of responsibility and ownership in students. So this is how I made learning more enjoyable with the help of technology. Then later on, I was, sharing the videos of my own teaching via Bluetooth or memory cards was used at the time. Then sometimes we were facing some problems, like sometimes data get corrupted while transferring data from my device to mobile devices or through the memory card. So what could be the better solution? And there are kind of very interesting technology or the tool called QR codes. So I used to create QR codes for my students and for grade 4. And whatever the digital content I created for them, I embedded it into the QR codes, and these QR codes were then printed on a sticker pages and then pasted on their textbooks. The students now just need to scan a QR code and access the digital content. It's not just about accessing the digital content, it's more about learning and understanding that concept. With the help of QR codes, you can learn anytime, anywhere. I think that we should give a freedom to students. We should give them opportunity to learn whenever they want. There should not be some sort of restrictions. Learning should happen in between 10 to 5 p.m. No, this is not. We should give them whenever they want. They just start their learning, and they were just a click away from their learning. I made these QR codes more personalized and what you can say, accessible for students. How? Because I know the learning style of each and every student in my classroom. So the content for same text for a same lesson differs students by students. So if, for example, if I'm accessing the same content or the same QR code in my textbook, but Mr. Royal might have different content for the same concept of the same lesson, because his style of learning is different and mine is different. So this is how I made learning more personalized. After just watching the videos or singing audio format of a poem or animation, accessing any animated video, students were expected to solve the questionnaire. And based on the performance, based on their marks, I get to know whether my students have understood that concept well or not. If you need more assistance, need more support, then I change the data at the back end so that students could access different content well curated for themselves. So this is what the QR coded textbook, this is how the QR coded textbook actually helped my students to learn at their own pace. I initiated this in around 2015 or 16, and then later on government of Maharashtra has accepted my proposal of using QR code technology in the textbook. And then later on in 2019, central government has also started using this technology in the textbooks. It helped a lot to every students, those who have the government textbooks in their hands. During the pandemic, when the schools were closed, but still students were able to continue their education just because they have these type of textbooks in their hands. Then later on, I initiated a project called Virtual Field Trips, Royal has mentioned. We used to visit 7 wonders of the world or anything that has been mentioned in the textbook virtually. For example, we learn about Ajanta and Ellora caves. So instead of going there, I used to have a video call to the teacher who is living nearby the Ajanta Ellora caves. He went there and he has shown how the entire Ajanta and Ellora caves looks like. My students used to ask the different questions to them. So this is how I made learning more joyful. Another thing is that during this virtual field trip, I used to invite some teachers, those who teach different different topics, different subject more expertly, more efficiently than me. We have given the passport for my students, for learning passport for students while we were on virtual field trips. So the passport actually, well maintained the records of their learning, where we have visited, when we have visited, what are the different words we learn, how much distance we have traveled virtually. So when students go back to home, or whenever they want to relearn the same topic, they just go through their passport and get to know all the things that they have done. So now our students have their friends in other countries. They used to send the letters. They used to have their mobile numbers right now as well. So it is just an effort to make them global citizens. Ultimately we are citizens of this world, and this virtual field trip project is helping them to widen their horizon. Currently, we are now working on the Let's Cross the Borders projects. Due to the COVID pandemic and after some of the responsibilities, after being a Global Teacher Prize winner, I couldn't initiated our new cohort for this Let's Cross the Borders project. But I hope I will initiate a new cohort for this project in this year. So Let's Cross the Borders project is more basically focusing on promotion of sustainable development goal number 16, that is about peace. And I used to invite students and engage students from most conflict zone countries in the world, like India and Pakistan, Iraq, Iran, Israel, Palestine. And this is a 6-week long project. It carries out in 3 phases. First, initially we invite entries from teachers, those who are interested. Then we interview them. After just having NOC from the teachers and management committee, we jump into the second phase of it, where classroom and students get to connect with each other. And in the first week, students are allotted with their peace buddies from the another countries. Like Indian students get to know their peace buddies from Pakistan. Then in the second week, students are expected to come up with their own opinion. Why are we fighting? Then in the third week, students share their findings about similarities and differences in between these countries. So this is how this project is going on. Till 2019, we could manage around 18,000 students being a part of our Peace Army. And I hope we'll engage more and more students later on as well. So that was a small presentation for you. Now I'll be more happy to answer your questions if you have. Thanks for listening to me and being so patient and most quietly. So I'm more open to answer your questions if you have anything.
Faculties as well as students can ask questions. You can also put your questions in the chat box.
Yes. Yes, feel free to ask me any question. Earlier, I asked you a question. Now it's your turn. You can ask me a question now. Okay, no one?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Question is like now when you identified and then when you started working on this preparing QR code system for the children, what technical problem now when we had a camp in Jawar in Palghar district, the QR code and books are there, but they don't have any devices. So is there any community learning process where students can come together or in a school or through government that type of facilities available, because most of the children, they are from rural area, so they don't have smartphone, they don't have iPad or computer to scan that particular code and then learn from that. So how you bridge that gap, and then is there any, after your innovation, is there any initiative from government or from some different sources? So how that, and then what is the result now? Like, is there any improvement in attendance, or is there any improvement in academic performance, or is there any improvement
Okay.
in awareness, like that, sir? Yeah. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I had a question. Since I assume that you may need help with your technical contents in the initiatives that you propose to take. Do you take assistance of other students or some professionals? How do you go about converting your ideas and integrating technology with it?
Actually, so answer to your question is very, very specific. I used to ask the questions to the Googles. Okay. So when I saw that QR code in a market, and then I saw that my shopkeeper actually scanned the QR code with a scanner, and the product and the information and the price was displayed on a screen. So that was the trigger point, and I was fascinated. What is happening there? So then I came to home and I just searched on Google. But what to ask Google? I didn't know what to call this. So instead of just text search, I used image search at that time and asked Google, what is this? Then Google replied, this is a QR code. Then I search how to create QR codes, and there I go through some of the videos on YouTube how to create QR codes. Then I try to create my own QR codes. Then what else can be done with, what are the things we can embed in the QR codes. So this was the process gradually. So for these type of things, you don't need to be a tech savvy, or don't need to be a teacher or students from IT background. Only thing is that you need a passion for learning. That's what important is. Even in my classrooms, or the students, I know they are not well talented or things, but they are passionately curious about the things. And whatever you want to learn, more important thing is that behind the learning or behind achieving anything, it's being passionately curious about the things. And I think this is what made me to invent these initiatives and invent this something unique that help thousands and millions of students in the country, in the Maharashtra. Now talking about Royal's question, answering very specifically, answering that, at initially, yes, there were hardly any smartphones devices, but we were just using, what you can say, the feature phones having memory cards and Bluetooth technology. But after 1 year, when teachers, parents get to know this technology is helping our students or helping our kids to learn in a better way and learn at home, then they just try to invest in education. I took help of Rotary Club of Modni, community, what you can say, the social responsibility of a Rotary Club. And from with the help of them, I used to, give them some devices for students, analyze their, performances. And then I saw that huge, increase in the performances and better results are being achieved by the students. Then I proposed this to state government of Maharashtra. Before that, I piloted this project with 300 schools in my block. And after analyzing the students' performances, then I proposed it to the government of Maharashtra. So it was accepted by state government of Maharashtra. They did also piloting for grade 6 for 1 year. And then later on, they have come up with their own mobile app and the content for themselves. Especially talking about the content and the translating and dubbing it in. So I don't try to reinvent the wheel. Only thing is what I did, and I'm still doing that. If someone has a great digital content, I used to use my own voice for this, so that students could relate themselves that our teacher is teaching to them. I used to do some translating. So everything what I've learned, it just with the help of Google and YouTube. That's a secret behind these things.
Thank you, sir. It was very motivating to know that, you have used technologies and you have ventured into a domain which is not exactly, maybe not your, background domain, but then it is very motivating to know that. And it is also motivating to us to, go and venture into domains which we don't know anything about. Because I believe that a curious mind can master any domain, whether they know it or not, because today technology is available, Google is available,
Right.
YouTube is available, and nothing is impossible.
Right. You're right.
Yes, over to the attendants. If they have any questions, they can ask.
Randy, may I?
Please.
It was an excellent talk, sir. It is amazing to see how a small, your curiosity has led to such a big invention, and it has changed so many lives. My question to you is that students, whatever be the age, some of them have a lot of clarity as to what would they like to do and what they want to be or what they want to achieve. And I will say most of them are a kind of interested in multiple things. I would like to put it that way, that interested in many more than one domains, and actually do not know which one should they pick up so that they can pursue their career on that front. So in that kind of a situation, I mean, given your experience of dealing with young kids, now, what do you think is a good exercise for people to, to take up to ensure that, or to just to find out what would be a better path for me to take?
Actually, at the age of 20 to 25, it's very difficult for you to, find the right pathway, which would be right or wrong. But only thing what I would like to tell you, your students, is that just sit down, close your eyes, and think what makes you more happier. It's very important. If you're enjoying your job, whatever you're doing, then this is the best pathway for your career. Other than, I don't think that if you think engineering is good or doctor or any other job is good, no. More important is that your happiness. If you're enjoying whatever you're doing, then go for it. Don't think of failures, or rather, I would say, fail big. If you fail, it means you get a chance to learn the same thing in a different way. So just enjoy yourself, and try to understand what makes you more and more happier. Irrespective of money, irrespective of status in the society, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, you should be enjoying your job. You should be enjoying whatever you're doing. So only thing is that to choose among any options, just listen to your internal voice of your own, and then go for it.
So I have another question, just out of curiosity. In the video you have mentioned that child marriages. I'm sure they are trying to say that the child marriages have come down, but in a rural population like India, where for years together people have been practicing certain practices such as child marriage or neglecting the girl child, not allowing her to go to school for her education. So, how do you think it was? What made it possible that one? How did you convince parents to bring in their children to school? And I mean, I'm sure this wasn't an easy task for you at all. How did you make it happen?
I think I answered this question at the beginning or during my session as well. Instead of posting my thoughts, like giving them lectures and saying, oh, how it is important, I used to, invite girls from nearby villages, those who have educated, those who have a good job, and those who have made some sustainable or huge contribution in their domain. So these girls were invited in as classrooms, and they were sharing their experiences and what made them what made them so much successful in their career. So this is how one thing I did. Instead of posting the thoughts, learning from expert or learning from successful people, it's very important. If you see, for example, if you want to become a cricketer, you will watch the Sachin Tendulkar's or Virat Kohli's videos and his success stories. People used to like to listen successful stories, and the purpose of inviting girls from nearby villages is to interact with successful girls and what made them more successful. This was the one thing I did. Second thing, that instead of doing parental awareness or other things, I empowered girls and make them such a powerful so that they could take their own decision. When girl, any single girl decide, I don't want to get married, then nobody could challenge herself, so go against her decision. So instead of doing parental awareness, I more focus on girls' empowerment, their ability to make their own decision, and saying no to child marriages. And this is how I made it possible. There is no other secret formula behind this.
It is amazing to understand, sir, that young minds are easy to influence, but an adult mind is very tough to influence. So influencing adult minds, for them to give freedom of choice to a girl to say no is amazing.
Right.
Which is very hard to believe that things can change in this way. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ashwini. Any other faculty or attendee would like to ask questions?
We are expecting few questions from students because it is now their call to take some challenges and then work on some projects where community and then people from rural area which get benefit of it. So any question from student side, or if you need any guidance from sir, you can ask your question.
I think no more questions from student side.
Yeah. No more questions, students. Nobody has anything to ask. Any ideas that you could do? Yeah, okay. Sir, how did you get the idea of QR coded textbook? Student has asked the question in the chat box.
Yeah, he had asked a question in chat box, but actually I already answered this while answering last one question. That one day I went in a shop and there I saw that QR code on a product, and saw that shopkeeper was scanning a QR code with a handheld scanner machine, and all the details embedded in the QR code were displayed on a screen. So from there I got it actually clicked in mind, something can be done on a similar line, but I didn't know at the time what can be done. But after just having the influence of that trigger point in the mind, I googled what is this. Instead of doing text search, I use image search facility. There I get to know about QR codes. What does it mean, QR code? It means quick response code. It gives a very quick response to the audience or to the scanner. So then later on, I used to understand the different things to embed, what are items that can be done with the help of these embedded QR codes. So this is how that idea emerged. Initially, it was a trigger point in the supermarket. Good. Any more questions, students?
You can write it in the chat box.
Yes, if you have, please feel free to write in the chat box as well.
Sir, my question is, what is the next step now? QR code books are there in the syllabus, and then the students are scanning it and learning. Is there any further improvement or some other new version you're planning to do? So where
Actually, yeah. Now it's rather than doing having a higher version of it, I'm trying to scale up the same thing in other countries. Like I'm in talk with some countries in conflict zone, like Rohingya camp in Bangladesh or in Afghanistan, and still trying to pitch that idea in these countries and trying to help the girls in that in those countries as well. So I'm just because just being a winner of Global Teacher Prize, so I get to know about more about new opportunities in different countries where I get to interact with higher officials of these different countries. So I'm just trying to pitch that idea in different countries and get to replicate the same thing in other countries, so that every girl in this world could get a chance to learn and unleash her potential.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, someone has asked, after scanning the QR code, what kind of information students get? Yeah, it depends on the content or the lesson or chapter or the concept that you are scanning. If it is a lesson, you will get different type of content, like there will be a PDF file for more further reading. There will be a video explaining the concept in a much better way. If it is a poem, then there will be an audio format. And after that, there will be a questionnaire or answer question sheet for you to solve it. So content will be different, but these are the four different content that are rightly available in the QR coded textbooks. Thanks for asking, basically. Thank you. Pallavi has asked the same question. If you are a student of grade 1 to 12 and you are from State Board of Maharashtra, or if you are using NCERT textbook, you can download an app called Diksha, Diksha, which is freely available on Play Store or App Store as well. And after downloading, just select your board, select your language, and just scan a QR code in your textbook. Then you can access all the registered content available in the Diksha platform.
Sir, the app was also designed in-house?
Yes. Now, initially, I used to use some of the apps available on Play Store, but then later, our government of Maharashtra, they have created their own app called Mitra. Then later on, government of India, instead of just having all apps, is segregated, they have created a digital platform called Diksha, and this is a single app now for scanning the QR codes in the textbooks.
Okay, so through this Diksha app, the QR codes are getting scanned and then the
Yes.
content is visible to the students in schools.
Yes, right. You're right.
So as a user, can I, go ahead with my own QR code and, upload it, the content and match it with the QR code? Is that possible for me as a user?
Yeah, if you are a single user, but are you thinking of creating your own QR codes or anything?
Yes.
So if you want to create your own content or own QR codes, you can create it using any a tool. And if you want to scan it, then you can use different apps, because Diksha is made for the accessing
School.
the scanning the content in the textbooks only.
Okay. So for different contents, we will have to either use
Any
different,
any QR code scanner app, anyone available on.
any QR code scanner app can be done.
Yes, you can.
Okay. That was very helpful, sir.
Yes. If you need any help while creating QR codes, I'll be more than happy to help you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have to stop here. Thank you so much for listening and being so patient and asking so many questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I request Revati madam to propose the vote of thanks.
Everyone. It was a wonderful talk, sir. Your talk has been an inspiring one. I'm sure all the students and teachers who have been listening to you have taken something, as a takeaway, and especially for teachers. It is wonderful to see a person so dedicated about the amount of work that is involved. You taught about your students, and that is so inspiring. And I'm sure for the students, you as an innovator, and will send some signals for them to be motivated to carry on with what their aspirations are. And as Janvi ma'am has said, this is clearly an aspirational track, and I wish some students get motivated by your work, and and take courage to follow their aspirations. Thank you very much. And I thank Janvi ma'am for organizing this, and also Royal sir for giving us such a wonderful person as the expert. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank the organizing team, BSH department, for cooperating with us, and the organizing team comprising of Rian and Ravi from the IT department, and also the faculties and heads of the department of computer and electronics and telecommunication, because of who have also contributed to this mentoring webinar that we had today. So thank you, everyone. We are officially closing the webinar. Bye, and please have a very good weekend.